Hi, Bo Huffman here from the Hastings and Kearney GNCs. We want each and every single person to live well each and every day. So whatever your health need, question, or concern, we're here to do just that for you. So whether it's a multivitamin, a fish oil, a calcium, whatever the case may be, we want you to live well each and every day to get the most out of your life.
Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Hub, brought to you by GNC. I'm your host, Connor O'Gara, joined by Nathan Hart. Nathan, we have our mid-season award show. We're going to go through and talk about our class MVPs for each class, and we're going to start first with our only Class A team, the Kearney High Bearcats. And for the boys, it's been a rough go this year, but Damien Austen has stepped up and provided some offense for that team that they really have struggled to get throughout the season, but he has been a steady force for them. And then on the girls' side, Kelsey Stitham has been a really, really big contributor for that team without Skylar Snyder, who's been out with a back injury. Stitham is averaging 16 points a game for the Bearcats. She is going to be in a critical role still with Snyder coming back. She's still not 100% healthy. They're going to look to rely on her in the second half of the season.
For our midseason MVPs for Class B, we got two teams. We're looking for the boys at Lewis for Lexington. He's putting up 12 points, 8 boards. Really an athletic game changer for that team. They're an improved Minutemen team this year. Girls side, we're going to Rachel Jelton, Player of the Year last year in the Hub territory. 12.7 rebounds on a stacked team. She's putting up the numbers, and her stat line's impressive. 65% from the field, 63% from the three-point line, 81% from the free throw line. Two worthy candidates in Class B for a mid-season MVP. And in Class C1, we've got some stat stuffers. These might have been some easy picks. Riley Reinertson for Gibbon, doing what he always does. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 6 steals, 5 assists per game. It's pretty easy to pick a mid-season MVP when you got numbers like that.
Yeah.
Girls side as well. You're going to Minden. You're going to Brooke Kissinger.
Have we talked about Kissinger's yet?
I don't know. We talk about them all the time, and it's hard not to. She's averaging 20 points a game, makes it look easy. The team makes it look easy. A mid-season MVP award to Brooke.
And you talk about stat stuffers in C1. We got a couple in C2. Amy Johnson of Ravenna. We talked about her last week. She was a 3-star candidate, and she is someone that does everything for Ravenna. She's been a huge part of their offense and their defense. She can play a variety of positions. Kind of the same thing with Hunter Quinn of Southern Valley. Well, listen to his stat line. 16 points a game, 7 boards, 3 assists, 3.6 steals, 2 blocks. The guy does it all on offense and on defense, even though the Eagles have lost 2 in a row after that really, really solid start. Hunter Quinn has still been such a big part of what they're trying to do, and he is going to be the go-to guy on that team for if they want to get back to that state title.
Class D1, on the boys' side, we had a lot of candidates, but for midseason MVP, we're going to Amherst and Dominic Abbott. Team is 8-3, 3 good losses against good teams. Abbott's leading the way for that team. He's got 20 points a game for the Broncos, a deserving candidate among lots to choose from in D1. Girls' side, Kinsey Enox from Overton. She's asked to do a lot for the Eagles, and she's come up big. Started off the season with a bang, 42 points in the second game, averaging 22 points a game. Asked to do a lot. She's coming through for Overton.
And our D2 MVPs, we're going to start with Eustis Farnam's Melissa Johnson. This award could have easily gone to her sister Melanie Johnson, but Melissa has been the point guard of that team, really pushing the Knights to a really nice start. They're 6-4. Still have a few kinks to work out to be able to get her and her sister some outside help, but Knights right now are still having a nice season. It's because of her. And Robert Edgren and Bertrand, man, this kid is putting up numbers, 20 points a game. He is the lone senior on that team that starts. He's really the only senior on that team that plays significant minutes, and he got them off to a 6-0 start. He had 28 points the other night. They fell short against Southern Valley, but that team is capable of doing some big things in D2, and it's because of what Edgren's been able to do for him.
Obviously, rolling out the red carpet halfway through the season only means something if the players can keep it up in the second half of the season.
Definitely. And second half, a lot of things can happen. This isn't like a set in stone. These kids are necessarily going to make all region. There's still a lot of basketball to be left to play, and I think everybody knows that.
Check out our blog. We'll highlight some other players that probably are honorable mention on this Kearney Sports Hub blog.
And for our best games of the first half, one of them was actually a GNC Muscleman pick of the week, a pick that I had Southern Valley winning by 4 points. They win the game by 4 points, not to toot my own horn, but whatever. Southern Valley wins that game in overtime against Cozad, 65-61. And that was a game where Southern Valley was down 9 points with 2.5 minutes to go. Seth Miller really brought that team up in the end, hit some big free throws, hit a couple big shots for that team. And Southern Valley, that kept their home winning streak alive. They haven't lost at home in 2 years. And that was really a tough loss for Cozad. They were in a really tough stretch in that weekend that I think they were facing St. Cecilia too, and they needed that game to be able to kind of push through, but they weren't able to get it. So that was a big momentum game probably for Southern Valley.
Another exciting game, Overton Kearney Catholic. Overton wins 68-67 after being down 39-17 at halftime.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. Kearney Catholic's been in a handful of these comeback games, both on the winning side and losing side. This time it was Overton that just came out firing in the second half. It seemed like every player at a different moment had some key contribution to the win. Crowd was raucous. There was no last-second basket in that game, but a one-point game after being down 22, it was a pretty impressive effort for the Eagles.
We haven't covered any big-time buzzer beaters yet this season, but I bet we're going to be in for a couple in the second half of the season.
For sure.
And hey, Nathan, we're always talking about numbers. How about a first-half stat for the first part of the season? We're going to go to the Axtell boys, who have gotten off to a nice 8-3 start. 69% of their points have been scored by underclassmen. That's a pretty remarkable stat when you consider the hierarchy that teams usually have. And they have 3 sophomores that are really stepping up. Colby Becker, Adam Lundeen, Cody Nickel, providing big minutes for that team. And really, they've been the ones that have supplied the offense for a team that is rolling right now. They have a big test coming up against Elm Creek, but this is a team that is definitely on the rise. We talk about those on-the-rise teams, and with young contributors like this, we wouldn't be surprised to see Axtell boys hanging around for years to come.
We're going to highlight 2 impressive teams from the first half of the season. Obviously, there's a few teams with good records out there. These are teams that maybe have surprised a little bit as well as they put up big numbers. We're going to start with the Kearney Catholic girls. Pretty much starting over. They had one starter coming back from last year, but they haven't really missed a beat. They're 13-0. They're doing it. They've only played 2 games within 20 points. They were dominating whoever they played, and they haven't played weak teams. They've played 7 teams that are over 500. Deep team, young team, mostly underclassmen. This team, if they don't do it this year, they'll be back next year to dominate again.
And wasn't it you that said in the beginning of the year that the Kearney Catholic girls will be just fine?
Hey, maybe that's why I'm talking about them now, too.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Elm Creek boys have really, really been impressive this year. A 10-1 start. They're on a 9-game winning streak after that tough loss against Southern Valley. And listen to these wins that they've had. They won at Kearney Catholic, they beat Broken Bow, they beat Gibbon, and they won at Wilcox-Hildreth. This team, doesn't matter what class they're facing, they have good athletes. They have guys like Zach Johnson, Nick Crowley, Jake Bartling. We talk about these guys a lot, but they have been so good this year. Tanner Cavaney really has that team playing the right kind of basketball right now. Defensively, I mean, just listen to this stat. They're on 36 points a game. I don't know if there's a team in the Hub territory that is putting up that kind of numbers defensively, but Elm Creek, if it wants to get to that next level, they're number 4 right now in the prep zone ratings, but that's a team right now that could definitely have postseason success on the horizon. Well, there you have it. Those are our midseason awards. It's been a fun first half of the season thus far. Like Nathan said earlier, we're going to have a full first season awards blog post that'll be on the Sports Hub blog. Make sure you're checking out all of our content on the Kearney Hub website, on the blog, in print. Pick up a newspaper. Crazy thought. So for Conrad O'Gara, Nathan Hart, this has been the Sports Hub Midseason Awards. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.